Hello everyone, once again it's race weekend at the Bwoah Racing League. I'm Sarthak and as always alongside me, Rudra. What's up, mate?
Hello, Sarthak, and hello to everyone watching us.
Yep.
We have got an exciting race for you today.
Of course. And with us in the commentators box also, our pit lane pal who will be overlooking the race itself, making sure if any technical glitch is crucial, we might need a restart or might not need one, is Orion, who goes by Kumori Zora, who's also with us. And of course, we head to Monza. Thoughts, Ruza?
It is not called Temple of Speed for no reason.
Yep,
And
clearly.
I think that if there is any other track which can be faster than Spa, it has to be Monza.
Yeah, back to back. Perfect for us, isn't it? Spa was chaotic to say the least. Only 9 drivers came across the finish line. Thoughts on any early predictions at Monza? I know we've made our predictions, at least my predictions, pretty evident with Ferrari being on the thumbnail right now and everything. But yeah, any predictions of sorts, Rudra?
I wouldn't put it past Dustinich to score a couple of points, but I definitely expect him to at least try for the podium places. And who knows, if things just work out in their favor, wink wink turn 1 disasters, maybe Dustinich might be able to scoop a win as well.
Yeah, I mean, turn 1, they were saying, UK in specific was saying that in the practice race, a lot of people who's practicing with him, which comprises of drivers in the league itself, really sent it going into turn 1. And if they try and pull that off here, all well and good, but if things go wrong, which is something more likely to happen, we are looking at chaos at turn 1. I just hope it's not complete chaos, because then it just spoils the whole race and it's just gonna end up being like Germany, a restart. Everyone will be asking for a restart, so yeah.
That is possible.
Yep.
And you don't get a lot of overtaking opportunities on the track except those chicanes, which will be very interesting to see because Monza is known for its clumsy corner cutting. So interesting to see how many of our drivers behave themselves, because BRL isn't exactly known for behaved corners from our drivers, but should be fun to watch.
Yep, it will be for sure. And looks like we've got almost a possible full racing grid. I know it's highly unlikely we have a full racing grid, but by the looks of the lobby, looks like most of the drivers have made it, if not all. Let's hope for the best. Meanwhile, for those of you all who just joined us, make sure you drop in the chat who you're here for. Who do you think come on top, as always? Monza. Been looking forward to this one. Rastinish almost said he'll be missing out on this race.
Glad to see him here though, because right now the only representation Ferrari has in BRL is because of Rastinish. And Ferrari are currently staying relevant only because of him.
Yep, and looks like we are ready to go, Rudra. Yep, the lobby set, everything set. We are ready to go racing at Monza.
One of the few lobbies that we have seen progress so quickly. Normally it takes longer than that.
Yes,
I guess
indeed.
even the drivers are excited.
Yeah, apparently Freeze was sleeping, so he quickly woke up and he's all set to go racing.
Who can even try to miss the Temple of Speed? I mean, not
Exactly.
many tracks get named such gloriously as Monza.
Yep. And speaking of Freeze, Rusty Nish apparently thinks Freeze might come out on top.
It is very possible. I mean, we all saw how he performed at Belgium. Speaking of Freeze, it says Freeze has joined, but yeah, I think this just might be a coincidence, a sign we're looking for.
A sign. It's the signs. Ah, okay. Guess I was wrong on the driver attendance part. Looks like 14 drivers with us today. 18 minutes of short qualifying begins. They get to set their lap times, which will decide which grid spot they get for the race.
I wonder how different our qualifying would turn out to be if we actually used the full qualifying instead of the short qualifying.
Yep. I am thinking, evaluating with the stewards themselves on to bring out a feature event kind of sorts. Going into the next season, since we are beyond our halfway mark into this season already.
F2, I think.
Yep. And looks like they are out and about. 3 drivers come out of the pits. It's a Red Bull, a big man joined the Alfa Romeo, and VPA in the Alfa Romeo as well.
This is a turn that all of our viewers definitely need to keep an eye on, as you will see the most action at this particular turn. Drivers braking from 300 plus speeds right to 100 or sub hundreds in order to take the first turn. I would not be surprised if somebody wants to go playing bumper cars with the polystyrene boards in the runoff area.
Yep. Speaking of which, didn't seem like he had a choice, but Sebastian Vettel in Monza, he went crazy with those boards, and looks like we've already got issues. 3 drivers have left the session. Looks like we possibly could have a new lobby. Yep.
Should not have complimented the lobby so soon. My bad.
Yep, clearly looks like we will be lobbying up once again. Just when we were all set and excited to go at Monza, looks like we will have to wait a bit more.
The BRL.
Yeah. Yes, I see that too.
But speaking of Sebastian, like you said, we saw his brake line literally burst and rupture. I could see this pieces flying, and there was no other thing he could do.
Yeah. And on that note, your thoughts on him moving to Aston Martin?
I could not be any happier for him. I'm not saying that his tenure at Ferrari was bad. It certainly was not bad, but given how Mercedes were dominating, it kind of is forgivable for him not to win any World Rally Championship, or at least, be in the fight throughout the season. He was good at Ferrari. They had a real good bond, but things started falling apart, and I would not blame Sebastian, and I would not blame his team per se. It's more towards the Ferrari management itself, but yeah, excited to see new things for him in Aston Martin.
Yeah, it'll be.
His new car looks really tasty.
I'm sure. I wonder how it'll look in green though. Clearly, that's what's racking my mind, and a bunch of others as well in the F1 community. What kind of green's gonna go on there?
I don't know why, but for me, it kind of feels like a blend of Jaguar and Aston Martin. That sort of green. I feel that would be a really good look on the team. It might even remind us of the Lotus years,
Yeah, for sure.
Imagine a Pete Grosjean just when I say Lotus. My God.
Yeah, for some reason only his name pops up into my mind, even though Kimi was associated with Lotus. For some reason, him and
He
even
almost made Lotus bankrupt, so I don't think Lotus would like that association.
Yep. Oh God.
The guy was just too good for them.
Precisely. Yeah. Meanwhile, Roshan in the chats asks, "Is the lobby issue the host network problem?" No, not really, bro. Looks like we had a couple of latecomers, so we're just facilitating those lads. And looks like we've got 18 drivers now, Rudra.
We have 3 new drivers, yes.
Oh, okay. Actually, we possibly could have just 2, considering I'm in the lobby as a spectator, and so is Ryan.
Oh, I don't think Ryan was there the last time, because if he was, we had 15 lobby players the last time, and now it's 18, which is why I considered 3.
Yep. Same and same. And looks like we are set to go shop qualifying at Monza finally. What about a dark green mat? Says Roshan. Dark green mat on the Aston Martin racing car next year?
If I have to go by the history of Racing Point, I don't think that they do matte. The only teams I know who do matte are Red Bull, Ferrari, and I guess McLaren. Yeah, so I don't imagine anything other than a metallic coat on the team.
Alright, I just hope they don't mix too much of pink in there. I guess that goes hand in hand.
I feel it's gonna be more of green and white, I suppose. Which will look good.
We'll clearly find out soon enough. And 18 minutes all set to go. I am super excited. I think Big Man Joe will come on the podium. That's my prediction. I don't know how KDB will do here. Williams, not his strong suit, realistic performance, so that's going to throw him off a bit. It'll be interesting to see if Mr. Wex can do better than last weekend.
That remains to be seen, but something interesting that I see here is there is no accelerate currently in the driver lineup.
Yeah, he's missing this race. So clearly Big Man Joe is smiling because Accelerate made a huge leap while Big Man Joe was away from the league races. He's in P2, second in the driver standings.
He currently stands second in the standings, and he could have even jumped Big Man Joe if he didn't arrive for Belgium.
And just like
so, really interesting to see he's willing to let go that fight.
Yeah, clearly. And just like last time, the previous lobby a few minutes ago, both the alphas out. Look at
Yeah,
them.
plays a huge role in Monza, so they will try to gain the maximum out of clean air.
Sure. Or could they be planning on something? I have a feeling could they give each other a tow?
It is very much possible. And it would improve their lap times a lot, but I think that the tow would work best when the track conditions improve at the end because there's more rubber on the track. So I don't know if this strategy is good for the beginning of the session. You're just wasting your tires if that's the case.
And looks like we've got the lads Aditya Kumar, Rick Sanchez, everybody here for Gouts, and looks like VPA has spun already.
So I guess my prediction about the tow was right.
Yeah. What happened there, Rudra? I missed it. My eyes were on the chat.
Well, I think it was more of an unfortunate incident rather than a driving incident. VPA kind of got the toe a bit too much with Macho, and he was about to rear end him when he had to brake out, and because he braked out very, very late, he had a lot of understeer and he just went into the gravel, which caused him to spin. So a series of unfortunate events.
Clearly, even if you do get a tow, you need to know what to do at that moment. Sector 3 goes yellow. Looks like it's just a couple of cars slowing down incredibly, but nothing major. Big Man Joe on a fast lap.
Which is why I said that the track has to improve over time for you to use the tow. There is no rubber on the track right now. You cannot grip it the way you want. And this is the fast track. You need that rubber.
Yes, they do. Setu RC18 on a fast lap himself. VPA on a fast lap as well. And Freeze too. Sector 3 still yellow. And looks like it's a Williams, if I'm not wrong, going incredibly slow. He'll have to pick up the pace because he's got a McLaren and an Alfa Romeo on their fast laps coming up.
He'll have to give way first. Otherwise, you're going to be receiving some very angry radio.
Yeah, for sure. Going around the Parabolica. Alfa Romeo, Big Man Joe, where does it put you? First fast lap of the session. Across the line he comes. 1 minute 21.538 is the reference time to beat.
A very, very decent lap.
Sicknick comes across the line almost a second slow.
7 tenths off, not a bad start. Definitely not.
Bit of traffic there almost. Oh, look at them. They got 5 cars. I think they're waiting for a tow, Rudra. Could they be? Possibly?
I guess. I mean, we also what happened last week for the real life F1 in Monza. There was such a big scramble for getting the tow, for getting in each other's slipstream that it was total chaos in Q1.
Yeah.
And just when you thought they have learned the lesson, they do the same thing in Q2. So if real drivers do this, we can blame our VRL boys, can we?
Exactly, and I think the highlight has to be Kimi Räikkönen and Esteban Ocon. That moment was awfully close.
Ocon is not making any more friends in F1 for sure.
Yeah, he's not making anyone anytime soon. Meanwhile, 8 drivers set their lap times. Rusty Nish puts himself right behind the Alfa Romeo.
Just a little over 1/10 off. Now, that is what I would call a really, really good chance if everything goes according to plan.
And you can see a bunch of these drivers' lap times getting invalidated. VPA and Thunderbird's lap times have been invalidated, and so has Supreme Leaders, and so has Vixie 56, and Shrivi, who's in the pit, yet to come out. Or is that a glitch? Nope, it's not a glitch. A bunch of drivers from P10 to P15 have their lap times invalidated.
Looks like a McLaren has stopped in Sector 1.
Yep. And let's go to Mr. Vex. Nope, not Mr. Vex. That is a good friend, Gouts.
Poor guy, he had a stonker of a race, but then had to give it all up in the last few laps.
And look at these horses waiting for each other. Or is this a glitch I'm seeing?
No, sadly, the F1 game does not have enough budget to have 2 pit crews. Hence, they get stuck.
Yep, and Gouts on a fast lap himself. Lap time looking good so far. 1 minute 14 seconds already.
I wish the F1 games had the live sector timings in spectator mode, you know? Something to show us how good they are performing compared to the other people. With the blue and with the purple and green indicators.
Exactly.
That would make for such great spectating.
Bingo. Right on, Rudra. And looks like he dived into the pits. What is he doing?
It literally caught me by surprise.
Yeah. Was that intentional? I don't know what he's up to. Gouts.
Maybe he forgot he had to race.
Yeah, Gouts throwing us off as always. Meanwhile, in the chat, looks like we've got the friends of Kapi once again. Sanjukta's back and is spamming the chat. Says Kapi, Kapi, Kapi. Only Kapi. 2-time podium finisher.
50% of racing points. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Sure.
Been because of the fans. I think they are responsible for half of the points.
Yep, clearly. For sure. Brilliant support here for most of the drivers. All their friends coming into the chat. Always good and keeps us happy as well. Rick Sanchez. Rick Sanchez for Gouts as always. Let's see if Rick Sanchez's usual prediction of Gouts being so confident on track and such a good driver, actually pulls through.
I feel like sometimes Gouts can be equated to Carlos Sainz. He is a good driver on paper and he does do well, but he's just so unlucky every single time.
Yep. And a bit of traffic here as Supreme Leader gives way to the Red Bull. Supreme Leader on his outlap. Sector 1 is going yellow. Yep, clearly because a Williams there awfully slow, and the only Williams on track is KDB. Meanwhile, 10 of y'all in the chat, make sure you drop who you're here for. Who do you think will come out on pole? Srivatsan pit lane pal is back on track in the Red Bull.
Season aficionado finally seems to have found his team for the time being rather than switching to the peak. And he's doing a decent job so far, given the hardware limitations he has.
Yeah. Awfully slow, almost come to a halt there, letting a Ferrari by, yes, but not in the wisest of positions, to be honest.
That was a risky place to stop at.
Clearly. Big Man Joe with yet another fast lap, and 1 minute 21.230 extends the gap to Rusty Nish a tad bit more. And looks like Rick Sanchez agrees with you completely, Rudra. He says Gouts is the smooth operator of the Bwoah Racing League.
It's definitely true. I think the best driver we have seen in terms of normal car maintenance, I would say, and tire wear has to be Gouts. He does incredibly well maintaining the car, maintaining the reliability. It's only when it comes to the overtaking and performance that he gets left behind. And it's mostly because of his own mistakes and not because of the other drivers. Belgium could have been his moment, but he was just so unlucky in the last lap, and we all felt bad for him.
Yeah, clearly we were hoping for a good finish there for both the McLarens, and looks like purple sector in sector 2, if I'm not wrong, or sector 1 for Hydrox 24. So looks like he's in a pretty good lap himself. And around the parabolica he comes across the line. Will he do better is the question. No, will put himself in the top 5 at least, possibly. Yup, close enough. P6 for now, as we're just over 7 minutes. Just over 7 minutes left in qualifying at Monza.
Now, if F1 2019 has the gap to leader option for the qualifying,
let's take a look.
for the standings.
Yep, we do. There you go.
Yes, and I think this is a much better performance analysis. Big Man's are sadly 4/10 off, but I don't think it will be for long.
Yeah, Freeze putting in that fast lap, and looks like both Haas and Red Bull on the fast lap, and they shunt as well.
Did they touch or did they not? I think they just avoided a collision.
I feel they did. Because the Red Bull ghosted itself, so clearly I have a feeling they did. And they touch once again, contact for sure this time around, yes, and it's a glitch. Oh my god, what is happening?
I don't know if cars ghost completely in qualifying or if they actually have collision.
I have no idea. We've seen this in the race as well, but UK manages to set a lap time which gives him P4 for now. 6 minutes left into qualifying.
1/100th of a second faster than Freeze.
Yeah.
My god.
Could we see a Ferrari on pole, Rudra?
Oh, that would be the dream.
Yeah, it would. They're not performing too great in real life, so we might as well see them do well at Monza in the BRL.
But I must admit, Rusty Nish has changed the fortunes of Ferrari ever since he got the seat. He's really been doing very, very well.
Oh, I should mention, Rudra, since you did actually join us probably 2 or 3. Oh no!
Just as a compliment, Rusty Nish, he had a huge tank slapper and just fun on the track.
And he gets shattered. What is happening there? The Red Bull of Rusty Nish and Sicknick, disaster for them. Are you seeing this, Rudra?
Yes, I am, and I'm honestly in shock right now.
Oh my word. Oh my god. Nope.
If only F1 had the red flag feature in their games. This certainly is a red flag event.
Both the cars just beached there. My god. On board Supreme Leader. Maybe we'll get to see them. Or has he passed them as well?
We passed them. It definitely happened in the straight before the chicane.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, we'll be able to see it from Srivatsan's point of view. But let's stick to VPA.
Nope, it's been cleared. But whoa,
Thankfully.
that was a tad bit scary. I have to keep reminding myself that this is
somebody has
virtual.
already played with the styrofoam boards and we missed it.
Yeah, freeze.
Sorry, Sardi, you can continue now.
I'm a bit shook after that incident. For some reason, I don't know. Even though this is virtual and not quite real, that was a bit scary, to say the
Very
least.
scary.
Yeah.
It was surprising to see Rastinish like lose control that way. He ended up losing his grip while braking. So I feel maybe he overheated his brakes too much, and that caused him to steer a bit, and he just went and dashed into the barrier.
Yep. And Sicknick T-boning into Rastinish. That was unfortunate. I'm surprised. That was a long.
You didn't
that
see
was a
it
straight.
coming. Yeah, exactly. It's a straight. You should have seen him coming from a long time ago.
And there was a bit of time too before he even came and went into Rastinish. So I'm surprised that even happened.
Yeah, it was even as if the Ferrari was moving on the track.
Meanwhile, Freeze currently sits in P2. He'll be hoping to better that time. He's on his outlap. He can, considering Rastinish is no longer in the session.
Yes, indeed. Rastinish should be praying that his time is good enough to keep him in the first few spots.
Yep. Haven't heard anything in the chat yet, the Bwoah Racing League chat. So looks like, I guess it was the driver's fault. Or else usually you got a lot of banter going on in the chat and just fingers being pointed around. But anyway, 2.5 minutes to go in shock qualifying. Freeze trying to better his time, possibly get a pole position here.
A lot of corner cutting so far from the racing points.
Only Kapi's put himself at P3, Rudra. VPA, another retirement in the session. I wonder where he retired. Oh, looks like in the pits. And looks like there's an off there. Just under 2 minutes to go into the qualifying session. Rastinish is on provisional pole, but Freeze could beat him, but dives right into the pits. And doesn't seem like he's going to be coming out, Rudra.
Maybe it is very much possible. If anybody has to get a lap now, they need to be out on the track before the clock hits 120, which is incredibly difficult to do.
Oh, clearly. Oh, okay. Could we see a last minute attempt at giving each other toe? Hyrox 24 right in front of only Kapi. Nope, he zips away. Across the line, only Kapi goes into the pits as well, which means we won't see a lap time from him. Big Man Joe on his outlap has right under 50 seconds possibly to get to the start finish line to start another fast lap one last time.
Comms I see active currently are the Alfa Romeo radios with both Rocketman and Big Man Joe on it. The rest of the radios seem to be empty. Everybody's on general.
Clearly Big Man Joe got something racking up his mind. 30 seconds to the line. Can he make it to start one last fast lap? Meanwhile, UK starts his fast lap himself. KDB, Mr. Wex, Hyrox 24, Sito RC18 could be possibly on fast laps themselves. Yep, and that seals it. Big Man Joe couldn't make it to the line in time, Rudra, which means Rastinish is currently on provisional pole. Free sticks to P2, only Kapi to P3, and Big Man Joe starting off at P5 unless UK pulls off a staggering lap.
So far, I'm not too surprised with the quali. Maybe a little bit because Subrita is down in P15. Ouch.
Not too great for him. He's not been doing all that great in the recent past, but he is a two-time race winner at BRL. So let's not forget about that. And KDB puts himself ahead of Big Man Joe in qualifying.
It was bound to happen. We were just waiting when, to be honest.
Up and across the line, UK. Where will you put yourself, lad? You will stay P6. And look at this.
5 tenths off. Mr. Vex back to his usual self. Yes.
Yep, this is just
Come
Mr.
on,
Vex.
let's have some applause in the chat for Mr. Vex.
I'm clapping. He
puts
got
on a
me
good show
clapping.
for the
Yep,
viewers.
every time. With his donuts. This time around, on the gravel.
Doing some wheel spin as well.
Yep, on the gravel. He's like, okay, I got P7, boys. I'm good. I'm happy. I'll start from P7. Possibly get a podium.
He also making a mockery of the virtual steward, making him be a black for no reason.
Yep. Yep, he is. And looks like this is the grid for today for the Italian GP of the Bwoah Racing League. Rusty Nish on pole. A Ferrari on pole. Good to see that in that right, Rudra.
I mean, a Ferrari had a pole in real life last year, so why not in a virtual game as well?
Yep, clearly. It'll be interesting to see going into turn 1, of course. Rusty Nish on pole position. Let's see if he can take it to the win. Or Freeze right behind him could make the jump on him anytime during the race. Rusty Nish on pole position. Freeze P2. Only Kapi putting himself P3. That's great for him as well. Bigman Joe in the top 5, KDB's in the mix, UK, Mr. Vex, Hyrox 24, Setu RC18, Sri Watson in P10. I'm predicting a fantastic race in store for sure.
It's going to be a tracker nonetheless, no matter what happens.
Yeah. And race day, race weekend as always. Too early for donuts, yours says Rick Sanchez, who's friends with Mr. Vex's teammate. And as we get ready to go racing, turn 1, I just hope everything goes fine in turn 1. I'm expecting a 3-way battle there going into turn 1, but let's just hope no crashes, no DNFs. Good clean racing, hopefully.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Have you seen that?
Oh my god, Rudra. I'm just keeping my hopes up. I just
yeah,
hope
like
so.
you're trying to be positive, but that might jinx it. So I'm doing some reverse psychology and reverse jinxing it, if you know what I mean.
A commentator's curse is a word play or a play with words, whatever you might say, being thrown around in the chat and in the league. I get blamed. We get blamed for a lot of things that goes on during the race.
Very true. Even in a real F1, if you are aware of this presenter called Matt Gallagher, Matty from WTF1. Yeah, he's known to be a pretty strong jinxer of Formula 1, he has to tweet out every Friday that the race is going to be boring, so the race is interesting. And even Mercedes AMG gets in on some fun, so it's a very, very real thing. Which we have.
Yes, it is. And on that note, with no connection whatsoever, only Kapi seems to have left the session, which means a disconnection. He's starting P3 and he's disconnected already. Missed out a bit there, Rudra, if you could repeat that.
I was just saying that let's hope that he joins in time, because the session timeout is over.
Yeah, and clearly something seems to be sketchy.
Guys, did the race start?
Nope, it hasn't.
Okay, because I got some lobby error.
Yep, looks like everyone's got lobby error, bro. Which means we'll have to sort this out. Folks, stay with us. Keep the chat buzzing. We will be back in a bit. Oh, seems like we are kind of back. Should be back. Let's see. Yep, I just heard from race control, or should I say Bwoah control. Okay, that was just sad. Alright, okay, custom grid, folks, custom grid issues with the game, as always. And we will soon be ready to go racing. Oh, looks like one of the drivers, or some of the drivers, actually got to start the race, and the McLaren is seen beached in the main straight already. On the main straight, yeah.
Do you want to bet on which McLaren it is?
Yeah, no.
We both know who it might be.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious at this point, but I'm pretty sure he's going like, sure thing, lads, sure thing. If he's watching this after everything, after the race itself, he's going, what two lads am I friends with? These two nincompoops, always hoping for the best, and at the same time knows I'm like the first person to crash out. We should be ready to go in just a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, folks, Italian GP of the Bwoah Racing League shock qualifying is done, and Rusty Nish is on pole, Freeze in P2, and only Cuppy in P3. Yep, seems like the drivers are lobbying up as we speak, which means we should be ready to go racing soon enough. Not the first time, and pretty sure it won't be the last either. Let's just hope the race goes well and we don't miss out on most of the action like we did at Spa.
Dude, that was actually hurting to miss out on it. We felt real pain.
Ashwin, Supreme Leader, going off on chat. He says something or the other gets screwed up every single week. Tough, but it is what it is. Meanwhile, folks, 9 of y'all watching. Thank you for staying as always. Clearly, once VPA came, not even one game started properly. So sad of him, says Vishnu. And I'm guessing Vishnu is VPA. So I won't be surprised if it is him.
Yeah, it's him.
Yep, it is. Clearly, we'll be looking at a fantastic race for sure. But let's just hope it goes through with no worries. Race day, race weekend at the Bwoah Racing League. Alfa Romeo still topping the standings, the constructors standings, Rudra?
Alfa Romeo has a strong hold on their standing. There's no way they're going to get taken down unless and until they have to DNF every race, which is not going to happen, no chance. So I think we can pretty much guarantee the World Championship. Maybe too soon to say, maybe I'm jinxing them again, but I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, with all the driver switches, that threw everything into a spin. Rusty Nish was in the McLaren, now he's in the Ferrari. I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have been leading. I mean, the constructor standings would be, theirs to take for Ferrari if Rusty Nish was in Ferrari. Then there was the whole part where Srivatsan was in Ferrari, then he wasn't, then he's on the grid once again in the Red Bull. So yeah.
The Constructor Championship might be a bit bold, kind of boring because everything seems sorted, but the Driver Championship is fiery hot right now. Barely 10-11 points separating each driver from one another, and even one position climb can do a lot of damage. Especially our current front runners for this session's race.
Yeah. Only copy Rusty Nation freeze. Okay. Looks like we are set to go. We should be set to go. For those of you who are still with us, thank you so much. Clearly, your priority is the lads driving, and so is ours. Meanwhile, as the track gets switched to Monza, perhaps you watched last weekend's race at Monza. What was your brilliant moment? Gasly on the top step of the podium, or another podium for McLaren? Would have been nice to see Stroll in Aston Martin colours on the podium.
But then again, that would rob us of the jokes that a Mercedes did finish on the podium.
Of course.
Technically the truth, right?
Yeah, pink Mercedes. I don't think anyone's going to deny that, I'm sure.
At least if it was an Aston Martin, the pink Mercedes joke would subside, but I don't think nobody's gonna let them go.
Yeah, not anytime soon, that's for sure. They're gonna probably just call it the green Mercedes or whatnot. So
They will be using the Mercedes engine, but at least I can pray that they don't copy the 2020 Mercedes now.
yeah, that would
As
be
we
awkward.
found out truly in Monza that even Mercedes have a kryptonite, and that is traffic. Literally the heat. They could not take it.
Yes. Unusual for Valtteri Bottas. Yep, I like to say it that way. I can't even say it normally.
I think that's how the Finns say it as well, so
Yeah, Valtteri
that's
Bottas.
good.
Valtteri. Yep. Yeah, it was unusual, his start, to say the least.
Maybe the ban of party mode did actually pay off. It was supposed to pay off in quali, but it ended up paying off in the race.
Yeah, it messed with. I have a feeling the whole ban on engine modes messed with Red Bull a tad bit too.
Yes, Red Bull and Mercedes are very power-oriented teams, if you look at it. Whereas McLaren and Renault, they are more oriented towards the car itself. So you saw how well Renault started performing and
Exactly.
how well McLaren started performing. So really, really good to see that.
Still looking forward for a Danny Rick podium though.
Oh, I hope that he gets something with Renault. I really want to see him and Cyril in matching tattoos more than anything right now.
Yes. Yes, would be great considering he is spending this year with them, and looks like we are set to go race at Monza. Something I've been looking forward for ever since the league started, and I'm sure Rudra has too.
Yes.
Let's go. 25% race distance. The drivers seem to be all set to go already. Now waiting one bit. Let's hope it doesn't throw us off guard. Please do not disconnect is what's running on my mind. Drivers seem to be ready to go. Yep, we are.
And just so that our viewers don't forget, the Thunder Lab still very much exists, which is still yet to be won by Thunderbird.
Unusual,
Ever since it
isn't
has
it?
been named that.
Unusual stuff. He was on the Thunder Lab chat thrice before we named it the Thunder Lab chat.
Exactly.
Those of you who don't know, the Thunder Lab chat is the post-race edition of our chat on Instagram with the driver who set the fastest lap during the race on Sunday. So yeah, make sure you tune into that post-race session along with the post-race chat with the podium finishers during the week as well. We'll soon be ready to go racing. We've got a Ferrari on pole, Mercedes in P2 and Racing Point in P3. You gotta love Formula 1, virtual or not. Yep, looks like we're good to go. UK is given the heads up, so as Gouts. And as the drivers get ready to go at Monza, make sure you drop in the chat what's gonna happen in turn 1. Any thoughts whatsoever? Who do you think will capitalize on a possible chaotic turn 1, or will we see clean racing going into that one?
We are seeing some spicy comments in the chat, by the way. We have Margin Freak over here.
Margin Freak?
Complimenting our voices.
Freak. Yep. Okay, looks like we are set to go, and we are off. The brilliant start by the Ferrari. Looks like a slow start for a couple of the drivers at the back. Williams get a brilliant start as well. Going into turn 1, Ferrari looks wide, 3-4 wide going into P3, P4, P5 drivers, and he's off the racing point. Only Cuppy seems to have gone off himself. Big Man Joe holding it there, has the Haas and the Williams to worry about, and back of the pack everything looks clean, Rudra, so thank God for that.
Things worked. I know the secret to bring the commentator's curse now. We have achieved Nirvana, guys.
Yep, we are taking a lot of that curb, all the drivers, and it seems like one of the drivers is off. That's Harry Rocks 24, and it's a battle wheel to wheel almost. Rusty Nish and Freeze going into that corner. Rusty Nish defends pretty great there. Meanwhile, there's no stopping him now. Takes the slipstream. He peeks down the inside. Freeze tries, couldn't, has to back off. Big Man Joe left the session. That's going to be an issue. He's got UK hungry for that position right behind him.
People going too wide and 3 wide at the turns is something I did not expect.
Clearly, and the McLaren being bold there, Mr. Wex. And he'll get that jump on Setu RC18. Rusty Nish gets the fastest lap already. Mr. Wex and Setu RC18 on the main straight, wheel to wheel. Setu trying to get that slipstream going into turn 1, dives down the inside. Tries, will he get a 2-position jump? No, he doesn't. Srivatsan holding off Mr. Wex pretty well there.
Every driver has failed to overtake Srivatsan immediately. You know, Srivatsan is a really good defender on the car.
Yeah, clearly, and Big Man
goes to show.
Meanwhile, Big Man Joe with a huge drop in position, and the game's playing tricks with us as always.
Is this another Silverstone? Because I cannot take any more of that roller coaster where we had to imagine and commentate on somebody driving with dry tires in rain. My God.
I mean, we were almost, we had given up almost. Anyway, we don't give up at the Bwoah Racing League anymore, do we? 25 laps to go. Only Cuppy running P3 and strong, closing in on Freeze. Meanwhile, Rusty Nish holds pole and the race lead right now. Clearly, Big Man Joe coming into the game soon enough.
Rusty Nish had a lead of over a second, but as I say that now, he's back to 8/10s, maybe because of the straights, but Rusty Nish has done so well to defend his position right now.
Let's just saw one tad bit of an issue. We should be good to go. KDB running P4, Rudra, in a Williams, in a track, on a track where, every realistic performance is gonna hit you hard, but meanwhile Freeze and only Cuppy seem to be switching positions, possibly. Okay, nope, that's the game once again.
Doesn't look like it, but it's a game. Yeah, we'll have to rely on our eyes for this one.
Yep, clearly. And meanwhile, it's gonna mess with us heavily. Looks like a clean race, but one of the Renaults clearly at the back of the pack with the 2 Alfa Romeos as well. Looks like we've got someone on the commentator's box. Let's hope is it Ryan or is it someone else?
Is it Vic? It's Vix356 with us.
Yeah, what's happening in the session?
Well, it says migrating host for us, and you are at the back of the pack.
There's an issue. I mean, may have to restart the lobby at home.
All right then. Okay.
Ryan is there, right?
Yes, Ryan's here.
Ryan, can you confirm? Can we restart the session?
Okay, seems
Ryan
like
is on mute right now. I think Ryan, you'll have to provide some confirmation.
I'll probably take this to the general VC and start out.
Uh,
Cool, awesome. Looks like it is a race restart, folks. Don't you rely on your eyes for everything? Asked Rick Sanchez. Yes. How is VPA 99 going from 5th to 15th? Well, that is a question on our minds as well. Let's just hope we can start and finish the race before the actual Formula 1 race. And like you can see on your screens, this game has caught us off guard once again.
Yeah, and rightly, as Rick Sanchez said, that we rely on our eyes for everything. Sometimes, the heart takes over, like especially when it comes to Gotham. I'm sure Rick would know that very well, since you all root for him.
Of course. Oh, yep, definitely issues all around. Meanwhile, folks, we will be back.
It was so long since I've seen a glitch-free lobby from a Codemasters game, be it F1 or Dirt or anything else.
And surprising enough, they've been selected. Multiple games of theirs have been selected for an award, which has slipped my mind in terms of its name.
Yeah, it was the 2019 Esports Game of the Year.
Wow.
And so was FIFA, so you tell me how credible those nominations are.
Clearly, they have to get that. I know it's difficult when it comes to esports regulating stuff like that, but clearly giving something like Project Cars 2 or this one an award, even after issues that persist, doesn't really quite make sense. Meanwhile,
At least the least they could do is have a local server system, Could really help. Maybe we can have those good old LAN party days again. Thankfully, F1 2020 at least has the split screen feature.
exactly. Thankfully,
Have you
indeed.
tried that out yet, Sarthak? The split screen?
No, I haven't, since I don't really play the game. I'm only a spectator more often than not. Hopefully one day I get myself a wheel and I'm racing instead of commentating.
I was supposed to get a wheel, but I'm sticking to my controller because you need time to get the most out of your investment. Sadly, not going to be happening now.
Interesting stuff. I think Big Man Joe was the recent driver in the league to get a wheel. The T300 RS GT edition, Thrustmaster. So that was a pretty great one, and clearly we'll see him improve race on race, I'm sure. Meanwhile, folks in the chat, you all have stayed with us till now. Issues aren't something new to the races, clearly, and
If you
just
can
wanna
see,
say thank
Sarthak,
you.
I've been involving myself in some friendly chat as well, especially for Gotham. Lots of supporters for Gotham now.
oh, there you are. Yep. Some people say fanny magnet cheat code was inspired by. I can't believe I read that. Oh my
I
god.
was waiting for you to put that out.
Leave it to Rocket Man. Leave it to Rocket Man for all this. Leave it to Rocket Man to pull off something like that in the chat. For those of you who don't know, Vineet Kishan in the chat is Rocket Man. Used to drive for Alfa Romeo in the Bwoah Racing League. Meanwhile, sorry for the delay, boys. The game is throwing glitch after glitch, says Gouts. And
Gotham himself had to step down amongst his fans for the update.
lot of things happening, lot of things being prompted by the technical issues of the game. I'm surprised how UK hasn't arrived there yet. Meanwhile, Margin Freak says, yo, this is a game? I thought this was real. And I feel he's being sarcastic, but nevertheless.
Really a compliment.
Yep.
Any day.
Yeah. Meanwhile, of course, people, make sure you stay a tad bit patient as we begin the race Monza. Seems like I think a driver needs to lobby up, just one driver. VPA went for a tea break, says Iron Kid in the chat. I wouldn't mind a cup of tea myself. he will return. Ankur in the chat as well. Gouts, VPA, Only, Cuppy and Harry Rocks 24. They're the lads with the most support in the chat. Truly. I think I've lost Rudra. Shout out to the person who thought this was real, says Rick Sanchez.
No, I'm right here, Sarthak. I'm just having a lot of fun reading the comments.
Oh, of course. Yep. I'm sure. Let's go racing at Monza. Soon enough. Soon enough, folks.
We've never had such a fun and wisecracking chat until today, and it's just elevating the best race of the calendar to another height.
Yeah, clearly. It is.
Sanju says, make tea for me commentator. I think Sarthak will have to take that because I don't drink tea.
Well, I say I won't, but that's gonna... Anyway, that conversation is going nowhere. Meanwhile, what's your Mugello predictions? Asks Rick Sanchez. Mugello predictions. I'm gonna go out on a winger and say we're gonna see one unusual podium sitter. One unusual podium sitter. That's my, take on what's gonna happen in Mugello. What about you, Rudra?
You kind of stole my prediction, so I'm gonna just it. I make it even more precise and say that either Alexander Albon or Charles, either one of them will get a podium.
Aren't you bold? First podium for Albon at Mugello. That's the prediction?
Or a Ferrari, of course, it'll mean very, very much to them. But Albon P4, his best quali so far in his career. So definitely, maybe a confidence boost.
Possibly, but clearly the man in front of him is Max Verstappen. But that conversation is for another time. Race day. Finally, can we start the race? Yes, we can. Italy, let's go.
Yes, all drivers seem to be ready, and we are starting now.
Yeah. Margin Freak says, it's so cute seeing you guys getting excited over 12 people chatting. Yep. Each person in the chat matters to us. And if you can bring along more friends, well, why not? Waiting for the players to ready up. One final time. Race start at 5 o'clock. Do you think we'll make it? Do you think we'll finish the race by the time the Mugello race starts, Rudra?
Mugello is a wonderful track. I've never enjoyed a track this much in recent years. And the only thing that makes me happier is that Nürburgring and Istanbul both are back on the calendar as well. Another two banger tracks. This is truly a special season.
Yeah, it is. It is. I hope they figure out some way to get Istanbul, Mugello, and the other track, Imola, into the game, probably for F1 2021 perhaps.
Yeah, I doubt it will be released for 2020. Maybe as a DLC, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
possibly. But regardless, Mugello needs to be a regular track in real F1. It's really, really a joy.
Yeah, for sure. We will find out. And looks like even Ryan is taken to the chat and says Bwoah control is in shambles due to Codemasters. Am I right? Yes, he is.
Yeah,
yes, he is.
Ryan, you get a cookie for that.
A cookie. I wouldn't mind one myself. Anyway, looks like the drivers.
Nobody minds a cookie.
Yeah. What? What? Anyway,
everybody loves a chocolate chip cookie.
That's true. And now I'm almost drooling, but the race is ready to go, and the Ferrari gets a good start. The Renault back there trying to make good on positions going into turn one, almost side by side. The Mercedes three-way battle down the grid as well. Oh, he gets shunted. The Mercedes has spun. Yes, Freeze has spun. Disaster for Freeze as he drops down the pack. Racing Bond gets pushed off track. Supreme Leader gets a 5-second penalty after severe collision himself. What a start that was. It is already.
That was a very, very bad start for Freeze.
Yep, safety car already. Rudra, which means Freeze, disaster for him.
I doubt anybody will pit instantly on the first lap, but that has put everybody's strategy down in the mud, at least for the first pit stop.
Clearly. Disaster there. Freeze started P2, now P14. What a start that was. And Rusty is holding on to the race lead. Safety car is out. Mega yeet into turn 1, says Ryan. And probably the most apt description. Go ahead.
Couldn't be any more truer. It was a yeet. It was literally a yeet.
Let's take a look.
I should have reverse jinxed it again, to be honest.
Do you think
It
it
got
will
used
work?
up in the famed lobby.
Took us 2 race starts to get the Italian GP of the Bwoah Racing League going, and we've got safety car on lap 1, and now going to lap 2.
Is
That's
there a car stuck at the third turn, if I'm not wrong, in sector 1? I think you can see it on the map, Sarthak. Is it a glitch?
Let's stay on Rusty Nish, and he goes off as well himself.
That's alright. He's still in the safety car.
Oh, that's the
There is a
safety car. That's the safety car.
I did not know that the safety car has the same color as a Haas.
Yeah.
Well, you learn something new every day.
Yep, clearly, we do. Neither did I. I actually thought it was a car, even though I didn't see anyone at the back of the pack. Meanwhile, someone bold enough to go into the pits already. Srivatsan dives into the pits, comes out on the mediums.
Mediums. Do you think it's the right strategy, Sarthak, for a track like Monza?
Well, I'm not too sure, but Rick Sanchez in the chat says box for hards and go long.
I agree with Rick on this one. Monza is not too cruel on you for the tire wear, but you can go fast on the hards, you know, it's not tough, but I guess the only thing would be maintaining the temperatures.
Yeah, I'm sure. And Srivatsan gets a 10-second time penalty after cutting a corner. Vixie56 joined us, so clearly that's great to know. No one's disconnected, everyone's coming back. Freeze, unfortunate for him. I think it was... I'm gonna go out on a wing here and say it's probably only Kapi, or I don't want to put for the blame on Big Man Joe, but I think only Kapi had a little to do with that spin of Freeze.
It was the classic Hamilton-Albon situation, if I can term it that, but I think Kapi is fortunate enough to get out without a penalty. Stewards will have a look at it later, but of course, no automatic penalties as of now.
Yeah, and looks like we'll have the safety car on this lap as well. And speaking of hards, Sicknig is the only driver to have hard tires on.
Maybe Sicknig is focusing on the chat as well and picked up on some cues.
Yep, and Mercedes AMG Freeze dives into the pits, comes out with a new front wing, and he sticks to the mediums.
Maybe there will be a 2-pit stop strategy with the first pit right now, but I wonder what the people on softs will do.
Good question there, and especially drivers like Gouts and VPA who's running P13, P14 on softs. They could have a head start on the couple of drivers on mediums like Vix356 and Thunderbird, but thereafter I doubt whether those tires will pull through for them. Freeze and Srivatsan, the two back markers right now, P15 and P16, both on mediums. Sicknig running P9 on the hards. Let's see what comes out. Let's see who comes out on top. Look at that gap Freeze has to the pack. 10 seconds. 10 seconds to Srivatsan he's got.
Thank God for the safety car, or else Freeze would have been a back marker chaser for so long.
And safety car in this lap, race control says, which means they will be set to go racing once again. Let's hope nothing similar to what happened at the restart into turn 1. Looks like drivers are heating up their tires. Yep, you can see them swerving left and right.
Big man Joe, too cool to swerve his tires. He was born ready with his tires hot.
Much like Kimi Raikkonen.
Definitely. We have our very own Iceman.
Yep, we do. And Rustin is trying to push the pack as he starts. Yep, he will. Safety car in this lap. We are set to go Monza once again, and it's a two-way fight already for P4 if I'm not wrong. Going into turn 1, Rustinish will have a steady lead going into the corner, and looking down the inside is Big Man Joe, but he won't be getting a jump in position soon enough. KDB tries UK on the tail of KDB himself. McLaren, Haas, they're all there, aren't they?
Turn 1 is always a risky place to overtake. I'm just glad they're bidding the time out. Ooh, Thunderbird going off.
Yep, I think he got slightly nervous. He got slightly nervous with Sicknick, so he kind of went off there. And meanwhile, KDB and UK fighting for position up front. Brilliant racing there, I'm sure. We kind of missed that. Going to the next turn, two-way battle there for Mr. Vex and Setu RC18.
Maybe more than a second behind the front three, so right now the battle is split into P4 and P2 as of now.
Yeah, and Big Man Joe closing in on only Cuppy. He should be able to attack going into the next two corners, possibly. Only Cuppy got a brilliant exit there.
Oh, that is very close from Setu RC.
Yep,
He might be able to make it through in Parabolica. There's a strong chance, but he has to go flat out for it.
Hope he holds back. He holds back a tad bit, which means he's probably looking into turn 1 to get the jump in turn 1. Meanwhile, Supreme Leader, battling it out with his teammate. Gets the slipstream. Will he overtake him? Yep, wheel to wheel. The two Renaults on the main straight. Going into turn 1. Vix 356 won't be defending that one, I'm sure. Supreme Leader will get the jump on him. Meanwhile, Gouts being audacious there, going into turn 1 himself. Dives down the inside.
This is without DRS enabled, by the way. The DRS would be enabled in the next lap if I'm not wrong.
Meanwhile, looks like we've got the glitch. And Srivatsan, what's happened to Srivatsan in the pit lane entry? What has happened to him? Oh my god. Red Bull. A Red Bull just beached at pit lane entry. Disaster for the team. And I'm surprised. No warnings, nothing of the sorts. Just, he's just beached there.
Pit lane glitch when you can actually drive through the paddock, you know? It has happened in F1 2019 a lot. Seems to have corrected itself though.
50-second gap. I don't know how reliable that is, but clearly KDB on the tail of Big Man Joe now. Yup, he did fend off UK. He's trying to push that Williams to the limit, just like George Russell does in real F1. Big Man Joe goes wide. KDB gets the inside line, will get that position, but with an Alfa Romeo wheel to wheel on the main straight, do you think he'll have it, Rudra?
No, Alfa Romeo had a very good exit on the outside, and he still has the racing line right now going into turn 1. Yeah, KDB had to succumb to it, yes.
KDB.
Let's go. For now.
Getting the brunt of the Williams realistic performance. Down the order, McLaren getting squeezed by the Haas soon enough. Free is making his way up, making that move on VPA. Supreme Leader will try his luck at fighting for position, and what a jump that was by the Red Bull. Almost gets T-boned there by the Renault, and looks like disaster for Sicknick as he drops down the pack all the way to the back.
The Monza curves will never forgive you for riding. Just stamp you right out.
Yes, and on board our backmarker VPA, who's close enough to Sicknick to get a jump on him. 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings for Setu RC18. And right in front, looks like only Cuppy could be in attacking distance soon enough onto the main straight, in fact.
That is finally enabled, that might just help him.
And Mr. Vex has dived into the pits. Wonder what tires he's going to come out on. Meanwhile, UK and Setu RC18 running together in P5, P6. Within a second of each other to the top 4. Claire would be proud.
Interesting fight at the front, because if you can see, all the 7 racers are on softs. whereas everybody else after them has already pit. So could we see another real life Monza situation happening with a complete pack shuffle?
And looks like Wix356 kind of spun out as he dropped to P12. Tried to catch that, couldn't. He's gone off track as well.
That's a 5-second penalty for doing that.
And going back to the Monza, what was the term you used, Rudra?
Pack shuffle, entirely reshuffling the deck.
Let's hope we see that. Clearly, the game itself has a mind of its own. Sri Vatsan running in the race lead is what it thinks. But clearly we know Rusty Nish is the one there.
Rick Sanchez saying Claire would be proud seeing KDB's performance. Definitely. And this would kind of serve as her final race, Monza. So, you know what? Maybe KDB is doing it for Williams.
Yeah, possibly. Now just the top 4 in a second of each other. Going into the next couple of corners, they have to be as clean as possible. Brilliant exits is what they'll be looking for. As Sicknig making his climb as well. Wix356 goes into the pits. I wonder what tires he'll have on when he comes out.
We were 37 seconds behind, and then there's Mr. Vex who's 22 seconds behind the pack. Oof, these two have a long road to climb.
And look at Freeze, he's made the climb from the back of the pack all the way up till P9 now. Looks like Big Man Joe making his way, closing in on Only Cuppy. Should have the slipstream that he needs to contest for position. Will he dive down the inside? No, he doesn't. Sticks to the rear of Only Cuppy.
Pulling off a real life Hamilton move. Hamilton also did the same thing, coming out from the back, climbing places up to a P7, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, he did. Exactly. Only Cuppy on the tail of Rusty Nish. Soon enough, this time around he should be able to contest for position as Sector 3 goes yellow. Yep, we've got a car almost staggering there. Looks like it's a Toro Rosso.
Looks like it's Thunderbird facing that issue. Although he seems to be driving properly now.
Yep, seems to have a bit of a moment there. Meanwhile, Freeze climbs into P8. Looks like they're awfully close. We will go to them soon enough. Just don't want to miss this battle. Only Cuppy closing in on Rusty Nish. Big Man Joe in the mix as well. KDB not letting go, and that gap is only increasing. Meanwhile, Freeze and Supreme Leader, yes, as we thought, wheel to wheel, going into the next corner for sure. He's trying his best. Yes, Supreme Leader showing Freeze why he is a 2-time race winner in the league. Oh no, that was with Couts.
And went ahead anyway. I think he'll have to give his position back for that.
Possibly, yes. Did he cut the corner there?
I think he glitched, if I'm not wrong. I saw him suddenly appear on the screen.
Yep, but Freeze making his way up the pack nonetheless. Hyrox24, the next competitor to face him. Brilliant racing line there by Freeze.
Cuts him off completely. That was amazing to see.
You need a red flag for that, says Rick Sanchez. Rick Sanchez really wants to get that red flag out. And Big Man Joe makes the move wheel to wheel. KDB trying his luck on Only Cuppy as well. As Big Man Joe going into the first corner should have 3-way going into the turn 1. Rutha, who do you think will come out on top here?
Oh, I just hope it's pretty. Okay. It did not end in catastrophe, but I was banking on Big Man Joe to finish the job.
Only
Iceman after all for a reason.
Yes, he is, isn't he? And Racing Point trying to contest for position once again. Wheel to wheel going in the next corner for sure. Will he stick it this time? Yes, he will. Only Cuppy trying to hold on. But Big Man Joe right up there. Wix356 seems to have retired from the session. Let's go to our race leader, Rusty Nish. We should be able to see Wix356 soon enough. He's beached on Sector 3.
As long as it's not cleared before we reach there,
yeah, let's just hope so. We've got still an awful lot of time. Yellow flag, Sector 3. Come on, give us a look at what's happened to Wix356.
Oh, it got cleared.
Just in the nick of time. I'm going to be mad at that.
It did look like it was another tank slapper, similar to what Ocon faced yesterday.
Made him
And
retire
as for
though.
Rick Sanchez, we are sad to inform you that Codemasters have not implemented a red flag in their F1 games. Yeah, we are as sad as you, sadly.
And what a dive into the pits that was by KDB. He seemed
I
like,
think he was overspeeding a little bit.
yeah, possibly. It seemed like he was a little bit indecisive with that.
It was more of a last moment pit, I think.
Yeah. And a bunch of drivers going into the pits, which means Setu RC18 will jump to P4. Meanwhile, yep, UK has dived into the pits himself. And they will come out on the mediums.
I think they can pull off a medium till the end.
Possibly. We'll find out for sure. 3-second time penalty for Sicknig after multiple warnings. Meanwhile, VPA and Hydrox24 in the pits. Who's going to come out on top there? Mr. Wex getting the jump nonetheless. VPA coming ahead of Hydrox24. Thunderbird running at the back of the pack. Kumori Zora, who is Ryan, is with us as well, but seems to have left this session. Thunderbird coming out on the softs. Nope, going in with the softs and coming out on another set of softs.
Let's see that coming.
And our race leader dives into the pits as well, Rudra.
That was similar to how KDB pulled in. Maybe they are timing their brakes very, very well.
Yep, this is gonna be interesting, Rudra. Big Man Joe and Rusty Nish has dived into the pits, giving only Cuppy the race lead, but only Cuppy with the softs there.
Only for the time being, definitely.
Yep. Freeze climbs into P2, but he's on a 9-lap old mediums. Supreme Leader making good on the bunch of cars pitting as well. Okay, something's wrong. Something's clearly wrong with Supreme Leader. He slowed down incredibly. Okay, just a game glitch. Weird, but okay, yeah, incident there with the Haas. UK seems to have an issue. He's off track, and I think that issue came with Big Man Joe, because Big Man Joe has come out pretty far off from Rusty Nish. Vic C56, what is up? What happened there?
Oh man, I was coming on as Kyrie. Stevenson was ahead of me,
Uh-huh.
and car was glitching. He went off track and then he rejoined, but his car was ghosting all the time. So I didn't know if he would ghost or not. But then my tire, left tire, just came.
Oh
Right tire
no.
just came off.
Super unfortunate. Oh my god. Alright. Damn, it looked like you were.
I think they just seem to have got disconnected.
Oh, unfortunate. But did you think, I mean, you did get, you did retire 10 laps after the race. Did you think you'd have a steady position going into the end?
No, I had the same issue the last race we had, like the last race lobby that we closed. My downshifts aren't working, so I had to close the game, restart. I had lost a bunch of positions that way.
That's messed up. It's always unfortunate to see drivers retire earlier than.
UK and Setu seem to be split streaming right now in the main straight.
Yep, both of them playing smart there as always. Both the Haas drivers. Alright, thank you Wixie56 for joining us. Unfortunate end for the race, but 3-second time penalty for after multiple warnings for UK. Going into the next couple of corners, both the Haases will be fighting for position. Wonder what's going on in team radio, Rudra.
I can see Red Bull Racing together on the team radios, and
Haas.
Alfa Romeo surprisingly does not have Big Man Joe in it. Maybe the Iceman is going for a solo strategy today.
Okay, that was an audacious slipstream to say the least. Looked like Sicknig was pretty much touching Srivatsan at that point. There was contact between.
Big Man Joe seems to be catching Setu in UK right now.
Yep, close enough for sure. Meanwhile, Freeze making that jump on only Cuppy as he dives into the pits himself. Sicknig and Srivatsan, both the Red Bulls look like they're in an optimistic position in this race. They're both on the hards, Rudra.
Picnic went into the pit stop during the first safety car, and he might be going to get through with a one-stop strategy, I think, which will be really beneficial for him.
Possibly clear.
Because there are 2 more people who are yet to, who will pit definitely in front of him. So, Signy going for the long haul.
Yeah, and seemed like there was a glitch. Srivatson's actually running at the back of the pack. Meanwhile, KDB trying to close in on only copy, but finding it difficult nonetheless. For those of you in the chat, 11 of you all, make sure you drop who you're here for. Who do you think will come out on top? Freeze is currently leading the race after a disastrous turn 1 incident at the start, which brought out the safety car. He's got a 7-second gap.
No, that safety car is not out.
No, it did come out in lap 1. So that's what I was referring to. Yeah. And Rusty Nish has a 7-second gap to close in on, and KDB looks like he's close enough, but just won't have the momentum going into Parabolica because the realistic performance Williams really kicking him hard this race.
You feel like Freeze can pull a Paul Ricard today?
Yeah, possibly. Setu RC18 and UK going wheel to wheel into Parabolica. Always nice to see the teammates fighting, but it could cost them because Big Man Joe looking at a possible jump on both of them. Yes, he does look down the inside. 3-way going into turn 1, I'm sure. A 2-position jump possibly for the Alfa Romeo.
Wow, what an overtake.
Yep, and he will stick it indeed. Big Man Joe doing well there. Like we've seen in the past. A climb which won't stop anytime soon. 3-second time penalty for KDB. After multiple warnings, and Signig is the next driver Big Man Joe has in his line of sight.
Picnic driving extra carefully in the race, otherwise he would be racking up quite a few penalties by now. I think the quali kind of shook him up, after the collision with Rastinish.
Yup, I'm sure it did. And he will have slipstream going into the straight. Big Man Joe, he's got UK to worry about.
Is definitely on a lot older hard tires.
Yep, and you
should be pretty easy meet for Danny.
And UK awfully close there, going into that corner with Big Man Joe, and completely off. Completely off there. Signig will lose 2 positions. Big Man Joe, UK happy about that, but going into Parabolica, these 2 lads will be wheel to wheel.
But Danny's gonna get a compromise exit here.
Yes, pretty much. He's trying to fend off UK by making sure he doesn't get the greatest slipstreams. Going into turn 1 is a question for sure. Who will get the advantage? Big Man Joe being awfully close there. Both of them, look at them go into turn 1. Rudra, what a sight.
Oh, there's a bit of, UK runs the curb. Yeah, he loses that position now.
Alfa Romeo, Haas, Red Bull and Haas. UK will try once again, sure enough. Meanwhile, that 7-second gap between Freeze and Rusty Nish has bottled down to 5 seconds, and hopefully he can close that in even more. Meanwhile,
Rusty definitely has the upper hand though, sir, because as we know, Freeze has to pit once more. Those tires are not going to go another 11 laps. Well, Rusty will go to the end.
Freeze might just hold out and try and pull a Paul Ricard on us. Maybe not
that
get
is possible
today, but maybe podium is definitely a possibility with the Mercedes.
11 laps to go. 3-second time penalty for Signig once again after multiple warnings. UK taking a lot of that curb, and he will have slipstream once again. Same part of the track once again. Freeze dives into the pits for softs, folks.
So no Paul Ricard.
Not doing
but definitely going for
look at that
quick strategy rather than a time strategy.
Would you look at that?
Right ahead of Danny.
Yep, and they have contact, or was that a glitch? Because going into turn 1, both drivers don't seem like they have an advantage. Yep, Big Man Joe going off.
Danny overshot the corner.
Meanwhile, for those of you who did not notice that, Rusty Nish gets a 5-second penalty and he's leading the race, and a 2-second gap to only Kapi. They're using the curb to the fullest here, every driver. And Supreme Leader in the mix himself.
And to update on this, Sarthak, Harry Rocks has just informed us that I think his AI is currently driving, as he lost current at his house and now, yeah, his fate rests on his AI.
Seems like he has returned though. I just got a notification here that he joined, but anyway, Rusty Nish leading
That
to
AI
this.
run proved costly,
Yeah.
sadly.
3-second time penalty for VPA as well.
Oh. VPA is not having the best of debuts in BRL.
Peeks down the inside. Couldn't quite get it. Big Man Joe. Turn 1 again. UK and Big Man Joe's expeditions into turn 1 is gonna end up being an endless one today for sure. Yup, and he looks around the outside. UK trying to hold it down there. Oh yes, brilliant racing line taken by UK. Big Man Joe getting fended off pretty well. Meanwhile, Gauss making that climb into P10, and Supreme Leader goes into the pits for a new set of softs. He's got 9 laps to go. Do you think the softs will last 9 laps?
Most definitely. I think based on Monza, we can expect anywhere between 9 to 12 laps, and Freeze as well as Gauss will be trying to push the softs till the very end.
Yes, and Sicknick with the hards clearly tried a strategy which isn't paying off. Big Man Joe, the closest driver to another competitor, UK in front of him.
Big Man Joe has had a quiet race, don't you think, Sarthak, today, given his normal standards?
Yes, he has, clearly. You got that one right. But I think he messed up a bit with regard to the pit stop, because he did pit along with Rusty Nish, and look at where Rusty Nish is and look at where Big Man Joe is. They were running together initially, so clearly that pit stop caught him off guard.
I still feel that something happened at turn 1. We saw UK glitching, if I'm not wrong, and I think Big Man Joe was also involved in that. We just weren't able to see it.
And speaking of UK and Big Man Joe, a tough fight in turn 2 as well. UK being aggressive there, but gives back the position.
Big Man Joe comes out on top.
I think he came back
No
to
surprises
position
there.
Yep, clearly. Setu RC18 running close to UK as well. Sector 3 goes yellow. By the looks of it, there isn't a fight really, but VPA and Thunderbird seem to be going wheel to wheel perhaps.
Could be, it is possible. And I don't know why, but Srivatsan has lost even more time. I think he might as well just give up and enjoy Monza while racing.
For sure. That's probably his go-to solution next as UK closes in on Big Man Joe himself. The two McLarens running close together, but that 10-second gap to Sicknig isn't great at all for Mr. Vex.
So I feel Mr. Vex should allow Gotham to pass, maybe use the team orders in this case, because the 12-lap old mids are just gonna slow down Goths as well.
We'll
I
find
think in
out.
this case they'll have to take one for the team.
Yep. 5-second penalty for corner cutting to Srivatsan. I'm pretty sure after Vixie.
That's like saying throwing a glass of water to somebody who's drenched in the rain.
Yep.
There's no better way to put it. Poor Srivatsan.
Exactly. And after that incident with Vixie 5-6, I don't think there'll be a lot good to say about him post race. Anyway, UK tried to move there going into turn 1 and 2. Messed up. Couldn't quite get it. Big Man Joe doing a brilliant job at defending. Meanwhile, Freeze on the softs closing in on KDB.
They have almost 12 seconds, 11 to 12 seconds to catch up to Rusty Nish in 7 laps. I don't think that he will be dethroned that easily. I feel it's either Rusty Nish or only Kapi for the win. My god, my predictions might just come true.
Possibly gonna go down to the
last 2 laps.
Yep, and the unserved
Very
time
possible.
penalties. Unserved time penalties will be a factor. Supreme Leader gets the jump on Gouts going into the straight. Yes, he will. Can he hold it? Yes, he will. Soft tires over mediums any day of the week, isn't it, Rudra?
You cannot compete with them, especially given that Gotz's use is on older tires as well.
And Mr. Wex.
We had a bet with him, didn't we, Sarthak, that he has to finish in P10 at least.
Exactly. He is running
And
P10.
he is trying his best. I mean, I can see that.
Yeah.
So props to him for that.
Yeah, he's trying his best, but doesn't seem like he's going to go anywhere apart from P10 unless he pulls off some magic or maybe a safety car as Freeze closes in on KDB, closer than ever. Oh, rain's coming down, Rudra. Rain's coming down at Monza.
Kind of noticed the drizzle, but I didn't want to jinx it, so I just stayed quiet. But
6 laps.
yeah, we can't ignore the obvious now.
6
Oh my God.
laps to go as Freeze makes that move on KDB and will get that done. Mercedes AMG realistic performance versus Williams realistic performance as KDB
Oh.
spins.
I think Freeze kind of rear-ended him while going through the chicane.
Freeze, what
And he
have you
rocks with
done?
the 5-second penalty. Not that it matters right now,
Yep.
because there is a mountain to climb.
Exactly. Only Kapi keeping himself as close as possible to Rusty Anish because he's aware of the time penalties, and I won't be too surprised if he's racked up some of his own.
I think only Kapi and Rastinaj have had a relatively cleaner race, and they might have 1 or 2 penalties amongst them, but we can't be too sure. We still have 5 laps to go.
Yep, and I'm sure this is going to throw off a couple of the drivers who are running softs right now. If the rain does come down a tad bit harder, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of drivers losing their rear of the cars.
Vanderbilt already on intermediates. Talk about being safe.
Yep, 55-second gap though. I don't think with Inters he can close that in unless he's predicting.
Yeah, it cuts like 11 seconds a lap.
Oh my
And
god.
Monza is sure.
Yep, and also unless with just 5 laps to go, if the rain does come down harder than how it is right now, could be capitalizing on that situation and coming in top 5, possibly.
That is definitely a thought.
That's a bold prediction to say the least.
Seems plausible though. It's not entirely impossible.
Yeah. And the closest competitors together on track right now is UK and Big Man Joe.
Big Man's are not having a bad race, but also not having a good race. That one mistake cost him a lot. Otherwise, he would definitely be getting a podium.
Meanwhile, Hydrox 24 making that jump on VPA. Mercedes AMG, the Mercedes AMG finding it a bit difficult into turn 2. Lost it a bit there, the Williams. Sector 2 goes yellow. Yes,
I think KDB might have sustained a lot of tire wear, maybe a few flat spots with the incident at Ascari.
possibly. I'm sure his gap not
Because
looking
the
too
track is
great.
getting slippier and slippier every single turn. Not gonna be a pleasant drive.
And our good friend Gouts gets slapped with a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. What is he up to?
There goes the promise. I
And,
hope not, but yeah.
and Sickney goes off there while trying to battle with Supreme Leader. Supreme Leader seems to be getting impatient on the sauce. He just wants to get this race done with. That's how it seems like. And he lost it a bit there. 10-second time penalty for corner cutting to VPA.
And the hits keep coming, don't they?
Yeah. And Hyrox 24 has pitted for mediums. 3 laps to go, my friend. 3 laps to go. I have no clue what some of these drivers are up to. 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Again for only Kapi. Clearly he's racking up.
That will play out for us, Sinesh.
3-second time
They will
penalty for
literally be
freeze.
clinging to whatever they can get, Sarthak.
3-second time penalty for freeze as well. Forgive us, folks, if you're a bit off with the times, because looks like the game is messing with us once again. Supreme Leader making strides up the pack as always. Rick Sanchez says, someone box for Inters. We've already got a lad out in Inters, Thunderbird. But his 36-second gap not gonna play into his favor now, is it?
Indeed. Supreme Leader has left the session.
Okay.
That could not be good, as he was just climbing the ranks pretty quickly.
Yes, he was. As you can see, KDB finding it difficult to keep the car on track there. Lost his rear once again. I'm guessing your assumption of him having blisters on his tires after that incident is the right one.
It could be, but I do see an increase in rain that should help him cool his tires. Maybe get some compensation, but yeah, mediums, he doesn't know he's gonna fight. It's all about maintaining position right now.
Yep, it is, and doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to fight. Everyone's split between each other for quite some time. 5-second penalty for corner cutting for Only Cuppy. If this keeps going, Only Cuppy is not even going to get a podium.
He already has 8-second worth of penalties in just this lap, which already brings him within a second of freeze.
Yep, and Sicknig has pit for softs, Rudra, on the 25th lap.
I wonder if they can see the rain too, you know, because I'm not sure.
You think it's Seto RC18 gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting as well? Do you think the rain is probably a glitch as well for us?
It could be, because I don't see the rubber getting washed away as well, you know. Otherwise, the first thing we would see on the track would be the rubber disappearing. Who knows?
Who knows? Indeed.
But even then, 2 laps to go and a pit stop, not the wisest of decisions.
Rick Sanchez says, Gouts, what is this behavior? So clearly he wants Gouts to finish higher up the order as well. But looks like Rusty Nish has a firm hold on the race lead. 3-second gap to Only Cuppy. And he does know Only Cuppy has a ton of time penalties himself. Starts the penultimate lap. Meanwhile, Freeze running P3 on softs. KDB 15-second back. Rusty Nish gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. I wonder what the race result's gonna be, Rudra.
This is going to be a nail-biting finish.
3-second time penalty for corner cutting for Freeze as well. Take it easy, lads, or are you getting thrown off guard because of the slight rain? Meanwhile,
I think the first 8 positions are pretty much sorted right now.
Yep.
Other than Big Man Joe and KDB.
Rusty Nish, his gap to Only Cuppy has extended to just over 4.5 seconds. Let's see if we
And
can.
it has crossed 5. As long as it remains above 5, it will be good.
Yep, I'm sure he'll be smiling. A Ferrari win at Monza. His first Ferrari win, if he can nail it, after he got back to Ferrari from McLaren. He did win with Ferrari in Australia, so. Okay, DRS is back. That's good news. On the last lap,
DRS has been disabled rather, so it is actually rain. The race control has deemed it to be wet enough to not have DRS.
Weird. I thought that said enabled, but okay, my bad. As Rusty Nish starts the last lap, Only Cuppy just over 5 seconds to Rusty Nish. Let's savor this moment. The gaps are astounding at Monza. Supreme leader 15 seconds of Seto RC18. Mr. Ovex 10 seconds of his competitor. Look at those gaps, Rudra.
The only gap I've seen consistently so far is Big Man Joe.
But Hyrox 24.
Everybody else is just climbing down, my god.
Oh, seems to be some last lap action as I spurred down to Hyrox 24. Looks like Big Man Joe KDB has spun. Yeah, KDB has spun. Disaster for him at the last moments of the race. On the last lap, UK will get that jump on KDB as well.
Oh, that cannot be good. This is something that Gotham faced. But at least KDB
UK has gone completely off there, crashed into the wall. Disaster for him. Oh, and he almost takes his teammate out. Seto RC18 goes into the wall hard there, but somehow keeps the car on track.
That was a really bad accident.
That was a close one, to say the least. Looks like our race leader coming around the Parabolica. It's for sure to say the Ferrari will come across the line on track as a race winner. But after unserved time penalties is the question. But across the line as a race winner, Rusty Nish. But can he hold on to it? Let's find out. Only Kapi coming across the line stays P2. I'm still skeptical. Freeze P3. Big Man Joe's the only driver.
He does keep his rating, I think so.
Let's just see. It's gonna be Big Man Joe and KDB. That's all I'm waiting for to come across the line. Just to be sure. He looks like he's awfully slow already.
Maybe he's given up, but
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't realize about the penalties.
Comes across the line, sticks to P4, which means yes, we are right. Rusty Nish is a two-time race winner in the Bwoah Racing League, and the Ferrari is on the top step of the podium at Monza.
Grazie ragazzi, boys.
Rusty Nish.
Right here, right
I've
on
not
cue.
concentrated so hard in my life. Those last 3 laps were hell.
He's here. Oh,
Oh my god.
what a race.
I got the second 5 second and I was like, okay, that's all. Game over.
Beautiful, beautiful. We were skeptical ourselves. We almost thought Freeze or Big Man Joe might get it, but clearly you held on. You held on pretty well.
The last 3 laps, especially the last one was hell. I was braking early and then letting it glide and then braking again, letting it glide, braking again. Whew.
Oh, what a race.
We actually had to hold our celebrations until Big Man Joe crossed the line just to be safe.
I did as well. That's why I took time to join in. I didn't want to, like jinx myself or whatever. But boy, oh boy.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Race winner once again, Rusty Nish at Monza.
You know what's interesting?
Yep.
So when I crashed out in quali, I thought to myself, I crashed out in Australia as well.
Oh.
Maybe it's a sign to come.
Oh, beautiful. Brilliant, but your lap time held though. You still stuck to pole position.
I thought Freeze would go quicker, but he invalidated unfortunately.
Ah,
But boy,
Well deserved.
I'm happy.
well deserved, Rusty Nish. Along with you, P2. Only Kapi and Freeze puts himself on the podium as well, P3. Oh, what a race.
Shout out to Kapi. I think until it started raining, he was driving like a machine. I never saw him make any mistakes. I had to be at it with my ERS at all times to try and keep him out of the second range. But he was insane.
Ah, yep, he was. Bunch of corner cutting penalties for everyone almost. Ah. Anyway.
I mean, credit. God knows how he keeps it clean.
But he did nonetheless. Congratulations, Rusty Nish, two-time race winner, and possibly got a jump up the driver standings as well, as Big Man Joe hasn't finished on the podium.
I'm just glad. I'm just going to try and do race to race. I'm not worrying too much about driver standings right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure the victory at Monza would have been sweet. Anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Rusty Nish. And for the 9 of you all who stayed till the very end, thank you so much. And cheers, Rudra. As always, a pleasure.
Same here, my friend. On to the next one.
On to the next one.